we're at the point in the offseason where things really start to heat up. The hot stove begins to burn and we start to see free agents sign. But the market is usually dictated by those players at the top of it. So what we're going to be doing here over the next coming couple of weeks is we're going to be examining the best free agents and their 5 most likely landing destinations for this 2026 campaign and beyond. So keep it locked in here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast, and let's get into it. Now, to start this offseason banter about the top free agents in the game and where they will land, we have to begin with the number 1 player on the market by everyone's prognostications, and that is Kyle Tucker. And the number 5 landing destination for Kyle Tucker is that of the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, when you think about what the Phillies are doing right now this offseason, they are a team that absolutely has some decisions to make, as they have 3 free agents of their own. Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, and Ranger Suarez are all going to be free agents this offseason. And thus, looking at a player like Kyle Tucker to replace part of what they're losing this offseason could potentially be a fit. You also think about the fact that they have the perennial trade candidates in Alec Bohm and Nicholas Castellanos, and there's even more potential room for change on this Phillies roster. What Kyle Tucker can do for this Phillies team is give them another tremendous hitter atop to the middle of that order. When you think about the year that Bryce Harper had, it was a down season by what most standards are for Bryce Harper, and a lot of that can be dedicated to the fact that he did not have protection in the lineup behind him. When you think about what this lineup could be by adding in a guy like Kyle Tucker, potentially bringing back Kyle Schwarber amongst the others, this now gives this team a different look and a different feel. And for the Philadelphia Phillies, a guy like Kyle Tucker could absolutely rake in Citizens Bank Park. So for me, one of the top 5 landing destinations for Kyle Tucker is that of the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, the number 4 team on my list is that of the San Francisco Giants. Over the past several off seasons, the Giants have tried to make that big splash and signing the best available free agent on the market. They tried a few years ago with Carlos Correa, tried again with Aaron Judge. What they have been able to do is re-sign Matt Chapman after he signed there on a short-term deal. They brought in Willy Adames. So now you have the foundations of the pieces you can start to build around. How much better of an offseason could the Giants find themselves having by bringing in the best available free agent in Kyle Tucker? The Giants obviously have a very difficult battle in the National League West, dealing with the always troublesome San Diego Padres and the potential dynasty in the making, potential three-peat in the making, having Los Angeles Dodgers. For the Giants, being able to put a thorn in that side of the champions in that National League West division could absolutely come with adding a player like Kyle Tucker. When you think about it, over the last 10 years, the Giants have been the only team to dethrone the Dodgers for the NL West division crown. So how much more could they be than stealing a target that is said to be on the fringes of the Dodgers' perspective this offseason? The Giants come in at my number 4 right now as the top 5 landing destinations for Kyle Tucker. Now, the number 3 team on my list is the team that just had Kyle Tucker, and that is the Chicago Cubs. When you think about what Tucker was and what he could have been for that Cubs lineup, it was and could have been even better. Yes, the injury somewhat derailed what offensively we could have seen from Kyle Tucker as a Chicago Cub, but there's no doubt about it, this is still a tremendous offensive player and was last season. Adding him back into a Cubs lineup that is absolutely going to be a contending team in the National League Central Division only stands to serve the Cubs in their best interest. Now, yes, there's a lot of reports that they may be looking at other free agents as their top priority this offseason, but there's no doubt about it, bringing back a guy like Kyle Tucker could truly help this team get back to being a potential World Series contender. Now, the number 2 team on my list for the potential landing destinations of Kyle Tucker is that of my very own New York Yankees. In my opinion, the Yankees absolutely need to make a big splash this offseason to remind the world that they are still a premier destination when it comes to free agents. Obviously, the Dodgers have been narrating that, having taken hold of that narrative over the past several off seasons, especially with a lot of the bigger names. But if you think about what the Yankees could do, the 1-2 punch that they had back in 2024 with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge and how it carried them to the World Series, they could potentially try to recreate that magic by bringing in Kyle Tucker. Yes, obviously, nobody is going to be the hitter that Juan Soto can be at his best, but Kyle Tucker could absolutely be a player that could help replicate some of that feeling for the New York Yankees lineup. Being able to have that lefty-righty combination and that 1-2 punch with Tucker and Aaron Judge, no doubt about it, leaves a lasting impression on the minds of Yankee fans. No doubt, when you put the idea of a Kyle Tucker hitting in front of Aaron Judge as someone who can get on base for the big man to be able to drive in home, instead of the bases being empty, as they usually have been for Aaron Judge over the past couple of seasons, outside of having Juan Soto there, the Yankees can ill afford to lose out on a player of the caliber of Kyle Tucker. That's what makes them the number 2 team on my list. However, the number 1 and most likely landing destination for the services of Kyle Tucker has to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. While yes, reports have come out and said that the Dodgers' pursuit of Kyle Tucker will be on the fringes, we never really have to believe that when it comes to the Dodgers. They are going to try to do all that they can to go back to back as champions, matching the most recent ones to do it, the 98 to 2000 New York Yankees. The Dodgers want to build that dynasty on the strength of their financial might, and bringing in Kyle Tucker could absolutely be the piece that puts them over the edge and could potentially extend that window beyond just being a 3-time repeat champion. For the Dodgers, a guy like Kyle Tucker could absolutely fit one glaring vacancy that they had in their lineup, which was their left field position. No doubt the Dodgers are going to be looking into what Kyle Tucker could be in terms of financially adding to their team or adding to their deferred payment. But nevertheless, when you look at what the Dodgers could be by adding in a player of Kyle Tucker's caliber, it is absolutely one of the scariest threats and potentials of 2026. But I want to hear from you, baseball fans. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings down in the comment section below. Where is the most likely landing destination for Kyle Tucker and his services in the 2026 campaign? Where do you believe he lands? What does that contract look like? How many years? How much is the dollar figure? Let me know that all down in the comment section below. And as always, if you haven't already, while you're down there leaving a comment, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell for post notifications. That way, each and every time we drop new content here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast, you will be notified. We have a ton of new team members here and contributors coming onto the channel in 2026. So definitely keep an eye, because your team could be being covered in a much more consistent basis here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And if you're not seeing coverage from your team right now, definitely reach out, because there may be a spot for you on the team. As always, my name is Jeremy, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.